more interesting and seemingly not very complex, but very dynamic sections of the exterior portion of a commercial building has to be the inspection of the landscaping. Now, commercial inspectors are not horticulturalists. We're not arborists. And so our scope is going to be limited to, is it alive? Is it dead? Is it posing an issue to the building, like being overgrown or damaging the building? Or does it pose a trip hazard or a pedestrian issue to somebody walking or coming in contact with it? So it's important to understand your scope. When I'm looking at a commercial building, long before I ever showed up here, I've already had a conversation with my clients. What if I'm inspecting a large commercial campus that has expansive land around the building? Am I responsible as the inspector for doing all that acreage of landscaping? Or do I just worry about what's in direct confluence with the building? Well, that's a conversation between you and your client. You're going to want to make sure that you've set that stage, because maybe they want you to look at that expansive acreage, or maybe they want you to just look at this building. In this case, we're only looking at what's directly here on this building. So with that, the very first, most obvious landscaping issue that I can see on this building has to be this enormous 15-inch diameter tree growing right next to the building. This tree is too close to the building. Its limbs have an opportunity to rub against the building, which can cause damage, especially depending on the type of siding. This is a raised aggregate concrete tilt-up construction, so it probably is not going to be as damaged as if it was some other material that could be present. But our bigger issue that we have has to be the overhanging limbs up over the roof surface. That debris falling from this tree can not only damage the roof by the organic matter laying there, potentially block any drainage that might be in this area, or if we didn't have such a high parapet wall, or if the tree overhung a little bit more, could actually rub against the roof surface. So in this instance, when I see this tree, I see an expense for my clients of not only potentially a roof issue, but also the tree and landscape issue that's in front. So this would definitely be something that we need to document on our report. And if we're doing the exterior before we're doing the roof inspection, then I'm sure that debris on the roof or the limbs on the roof will be something that'll be on the roof section of my inspection report as well. But let's see if we have any other issues around the exterior of this building as it pertains to landscaping. So when I'm doing my landscape inspection, I'm simply just going to walk the perimeter of the property. Whether I'm doing it singularly, only focusing on the landscaping, or whether I'm going to do this in conjunction with all the rest of the systems of the building. But when I'm walking this path, and I'm not tall, I've got limbs rubbing my head, this is a potential here. This is an unkept tree. This is a tree that requires some maintenance. Just for the general opinion of this inspector that this tree requires some form of attention. And that's probably just pruning. But nonetheless, it certainly is a testimony to something that I want to write up on my inspection report. We don't have to move too far down the sidewalk path to identify this potential trip hazard. This low growth is actually encroached as much as a third of the way across this sidewalk. This is a trip hazard to a young person, to an old person, to somebody in a wheelchair, to somebody with mobility issues, or somebody that just didn't see it. And so you definitely want to make this as another comment on your inspection report as a piece of landscaping that's not been well maintained. Your landscape inspection is really a totality of the entire building. You might think that the landscaping is a fairly small, benign condition of a building. But when you add it all up, the tree overhanging, the low unkept trees, the shrubs growing across the sidewalk, or any other items that you found in your inspection goes to the overall story that you're telling in your inspection report. So your client understands that they're going to need to have somebody come out here and address the entire landscaping plan of this building for not only building damage, potential trip hazards, and then just general maintenance that has been forsaken for so long. So don't forget that the landscaping is another element of your commercial property inspection.